Shankaran Pillai said, no. That's why you can't wake them up. You understand? They're really asleep. It's very easy to wake them. Gently you can either kiss them awake if they are gentle people, or you can put ice cold water, a bucket of ice cold water and wake them. But the problem is they're awake and they pretend to be asleep. Now you have to coax them not to pretend. You know it's difficult. You know it's difficult. That's why it seems so difficult, not otherwise. If people were really asleep, it would be very easily to awaken them. They're awake, but they're pretending to be asleep. Now, if you see, a man who is pretending to be asleep, if you roll him over, he'll sleep this side. You make him sit up, he'll sleep sitting. You make him stand up, he'll sleep standing. When he is determined not to wake up, then it takes lots of work. That's the foolish work we're doing in the name of spirituality. To wake people up who are already awake, but who like to pretend that they're asleep. Otherwise, why this going on and on? One satsang is enough, isn't it? Just one satsang is enough. Why another one, another one, another one? Because one satsang you roll them over like this, then they sleep this side. Next satsang, okay, that didn't work, you roll them like this, they'll sleep that in that position. In every new position they will sleep. So you don't let them sit in any position, you keep them moving to a point of frustration where they'll get up, okay, this damn man won't let me sleep anyway. What the hell? Let me come awake. This is the way fools will wake up. But the intelligent should wake up the moment they know they're awake, they must open their eyes and see. Those who are eager for life, those who are looking forward to the day, the moment they're awake, they will get up and come out. Those who are not looking forward to the day. If sun comes up, they want to deny it by the blanket, isn't it? So that's why the spiritual processes are designed like this. You like it or you don't like it, 5 o'clock in the morning, get up, have cold water and sit down and do everything that you have to do. No, I don't like it, it doesn't matter you don't like it. Just do it. You're asleep, it doesn't matter. You still walk around and do everything. If you do this for some time, then you will realize, what's the point pretending? Anyway, they'll make me do all these things. Then it will not be worth pretending. You're creating a whole range of illusions for yourself. Life should disillusion you somewhere, it will. The sooner it does, it's good. When life doesn't, a guru tries to hasten the process of disillusioning you. Do not understand disillusion as a negative process. Disillusioning means destroying your illusions, isn't it? If you get disillusioned, is it a positive thing or a negative thing? That's the whole problem with life, isn't it? If your dreams break and you come down to reality, that's when you struggle most and suffer most, isn't it so? Yes? Isn't it so? If everything that was an illusion broke and it landed you in reality, you must be joyful. But just the reverse is happening. Because you're awake and asleep. That's the problem. If you were asleep, there was no problem. If you're fully awake, It's absolutely wonderful. You're awake, but you pretend to be asleep. This is a serious problem.
Sadhguru, what are your views on homosexuality? Is it karmic? And can there be a redirection of the energy or a practice for those who are struggling with it?
I think most of the homosexuals of today are a product of a social situation rather than any kind of physiological or any other inner need. Mostly they are a social outcome of a certain attitude. If you go by the ways of the nature, sexuality was implanted in your body fundamentally for the sake of reproduction. We are all here because of that. But if there was no pleasure attached to it, nobody would go for it. Nobody would go for it. It is a painful thing to deliver a child. So, nature decided to attach pleasure to it, because without pleasure nobody would go for it. In spite of a little bit of pleasure attached to it, so many people are deciding not to go for it. They become smart. At a very young age, a lot of people are becoming very smart these days. They're able to see through the limitations of it and say, this is not for us. That's very smart actually, because they're able to think beyond their hormones. Hormone is a chemical process. It takes charge of you from inside, not from an outside. It's not an outside invasion, it's an inside invasion. Till you were 12, 13 years of age, everything was just fine with you. Suddenly, little bit of chemistry, and then you don't know what the hell is happening with you. Suddenly the whole head has become wonky. You can't think beyond it. It's happened, isn't it? So the moment hormones hijack your intelligence, then you start acting funny. And you act the whole world is revolving around your sexuality. There's nothing else to the world except sexuality. See, almost 90% of the artwork, literature, or any damn thing that's written or painted or sculpted is about sex, isn't it? Isn't it so? I don't know, I may not be right on the percentage. I think it's about 90%. Even if it's 75, I think it's a very distorted vision of life, isn't it? Yes? It's a very distorted vision of life, that one aspect of the physical takes up so much of human mind and consciousness is a very distorted perception of life. Now in that, what or whom you want to have to sex with has become another great identification. So when you talk about heterosexuality or homosexuality, you're just asking me with whom or what I should do. This thing that you call as sex. I don't care. All I know is, if your body and your consciousness and your mind is ruled by the simple hormonal changes that happen within you, you have a completely distorted perception of life. What is there to correct? What is there not to correct? If physiologically some